This exhibition is called Otherworldly Abundance. It's actually a combination of two bodies of work. One of them is called Numina's World, and that started in 2017. And what I did for that work was I put on like a green morph suit and a pink wig, and I had myself 3D scanned and then built into a little action figure. And that was Numina. She's like an alien fat goddess, and she's the ruler of her world. And her world is like a fat positive space. It's a place where food is like neutral or celebrated, where bodies are neutral or celebrated for their diversity, and where the pursuit of thinness is not like the core of existence, much the way it is on our Earth. And then there's also the exhibition, or like the work that I produced, called This Grotto Breathes. This work was kind of a response to writers and other artists and people that I had talked to about my work describing my work as grotesque. And I felt like that was a very bizarre way to describe my work. My work is very colorful, it's sumptuous, it's aesthetic, it's pleasing, it's attractive. And I wouldn't ever describe it as grotesque, which is what I think of as gory or disgusting or like viscerally abject. And I don't think that applies to my work. So I started to think about what the root of grotesque actually is, and that's from the words grotto-esque, grotesca. They come specifically from our thinking about the grotto. And so I was like, wow, that's a completely different understanding than our contemporary understanding of the word grotesque. And so I wanted to create a contemporary grotto that used the classical sense of the word. Something that's otherworldly, something that's unusual, kind of beguiling, it's attractive, you're drawn into it, and not necessarily disturbing, but it's a little bit confusing, it's a little off kilter. So so it's kind of a play on that word, and it's an exploration of that word, and kind of like a pushback against that word, or also reclaiming of that word. And so what I did for this exhibition was combine these two bodies of work and kind of imagine them as a universe, or like a multiverse of layers of like fat worlds put together into one. And so the bases of Numina's world mimic the shapes in the grotto, and one are flat and the other are upright in space, and they kind of, you can see them like kind of like collapsing out like this and coming together. And so that's where these two worlds collide in this exhibition. Fundamental to all of this work is bread. You see the bread used as bricks in the grotto work, and you see the bread making up hills and couches and strange little pillows within the Numina's world work. And the reason I work with bread is because my maternal grandmother used to make bread in like a huge amount of like quantity. So every Monday she would bake 10 loaves of bread and 2 dozen buns, and she would start handing those out to neighbors and friends and family, and she did this for about 50 or 60 years. So that's like thousands and thousands and thousands of loaves of bread over her life. And it was an act of like community care. So for her, and then for my family as a result, food and food making is an act of love. It's a way to show that you're part of a community. It's a way to show that you're important to me. And so that's like a value that I inherited about food, that food is love, food is consideration, food is family, food is community.